going on, guys? Alex here with 814 EDC, and today I'm ready to do my full review on a quirky little folder from Ketuo. This is the Ventr. Now, this is part of the package coming in via the Lefty passaround group. It involves the Ventr as well as the TACCOM Bulldog, which you guys probably saw my full review of go live yesterday. And today I'm doing my full review on the Ventr. So this is a pretty new knife. I saw people from Blade Show Texas talking about this, and I saw, kind of getting passed around on Instagram, shared on Instagram, pictures and things like that. And I thought it was an interesting looking knife. And then when I saw Kevin added it as part of the package with the Bulldog, I immediately knew that I wanted to check it out. Yeah, it's the second knife from Ketuo that I've checked out and reviewed for the channel. The first one was the Griffin, which, if I remember correctly, I was not a fan of at all. Certain things about that knife, I remember the D10 was like one of the lightest D10s I've ever had on a knife. So I don't think it was before I started doing my new score system here on the channel. But if it was during part of that, I don't think it would have scored very well. But now we are talking about a budget knife here, and I think this one has definitely impressed me a lot more than the Griffin did. Just an interesting knife, and honestly, it has a little bit of a hidden feature. Not a hidden feature, but it surprised me when I saw it for the knife, when I got it in. But we're going to start the review process, of course. So starting off with materials, these are rocking some black G10 scales with some like dimpling texturing, which is really nice, and then some side cut in here on the sides. You have a button lock. You have this giant hole back here, which I am not 100% sure what this is for. I have looked on the website, I've read the description multiple times through, and I'm not 100% sure what this is for. It could just be a giant lanyard hole. That's kind of what I'm going with. But it is a, kind of a kitchen knife themed, design here. BSD on the back is, I believe, the designer. Over here, so you can see this pocket, or this knife does not have a pocket clip. Has a cleaver style blade with a little bit of a modified cleaver because you have a straight line down here and then it tapers off. So it's almost like a Tanto cleaver. Hole for deployment, 14C28N on the blade steel, which is on here somewhere. I thought, yeah. All right, so Ketuo. And then 14C28N right there disappears when it's in Ventr right there. And then over here you have, Ketuo and 14C28N, but it disappears when it's up in the fully open mode. And it is a button lock, but it is also a liner lock. So you can deploy it, close it like that with the button, and you can also drop it down with the liner, which is really cool. I've had a blast fidgeting with this knife. This has found its way into my hands a lot at night when I'm watching TV with the wife and just hanging out on the couch. I'd be fidgeting with this thing a ton, and it's very good at that. But as far as materials go, black G10, 14C28N, two different ways of deploying the knife and closing the knife. For the price point, which we'll talk about later, 5 out of 5. No complaints at all from Alex here at 814 EDC. Before we move on, I'll give you guys some specs. So a total length of the Ventr is 6.9 inches, a blade length of 2.8 inches, handle length 4.1 inches, blade thickness of 0.12 inches, and it comes in weighing 3.2 ounces. And the designer is Braden Sweeten. So BSD is for Braden Sweeten Design. And I think he has a quirky little, cool knife here on his hands. I really do enjoy the Ventr. But I wish for the life of me I could figure out what this big hole was for on the back. And like I said, it's not anywhere here on the little description, which I was hoping it would be. But next up is aesthetic. I think this looks good. It definitely has a, when the knife is open and you realize that it's a kitchen-inspired design, I can definitely see where it's coming from. I can see kind of the cleaver style, blade and the way the handle's shaped, everything like that. I'm not a huge fan of this back here. I think that the knife would look a lot better if that was just cut off and that's the way the handle ended. I love the blade shape. Like I said, it's kind of a modified cleaver, sheep's foot sort of vibe. I like the way the handle is pretty much just straight the whole way back. So for aesthetics, I'm going to go 4.5, and the only thing keeping it from a 5 is the mysterious hole on the back. Next up is action. Dead centered, you have a big hole, so you can reverse finger flick. Reverse flick it very, very well. Thumb flick it. Not as easy because you have to kind of like shove the meat of your thumb down in there. And while it works, it's, the reverse flick is much, much better. You can slow roll it out. You can index finger flick it. And then for close, you have the button which sticks out nice and proud. Clean drop right there, whole way close. Then you have the liner lock like that. No blade play at all, nice and locked up tight, and you're still getting buttery smooth action. It is on bearings. Very, very nice. The detent is tuned nicely when you're considering it's a button lock, because button lock detents can be kind of springy, but as far as detents go for button locks, this is very well done. Very fun to fidget with. Like I said, this has found a ton of fidgetability time in my, my evenings and my, just sitting around on the couch. It gets a lot of free time, or a lot of fidgeting time. So it's going to get a 5 out of 5. Next up is the acoustics. I mean, they're good. Are they the best? No, but they are definitely not bad by any means of the imagination. They're just pretty basic, pretty much what you would expect from, a linered G10 knife, button lock knife with, cutouts for weight. Definitely is not bad, but definitely is not the best I've ever handled or, felt before. I'll go 4. I'm being generous. I do think it is good, but again, not the best that you can expect from, types of knives. But again, it is G10, so it kind of takes away from the sound a little bit. But I think a 4 out of 5 is very, very applicable here in the acoustics department. Next up is ergos. This thing feels so good in the hand, and this is honestly, as far as things go, this is going to be a pretty positive review for the Ventr. I think it's a very cool little knife, but man, the ergos just fit my hand so well. I love how the handle is like raised from the blade a little bit. You have this nice natural restriction point right there. I can get all 4 fingers in the knife very easily. You have a little bit of jimping up top here. Nothing too aggressive. If anything, it's a little bit, under aggressive, if that makes any sense. But I can get, again, all 4 fingers on this knife very easily. You don't have a pot clip at all to worry about, digging into your hands. It's not causing any sort of hot spots whatsoever. Ergos are just super duper comfortable. The G10 has really nice texturing and milling. Like I said earlier in the video, you have some dimpling right here, and then you have some just kind of straight milling right there on both sides. And that provides a really nice subtle grip to the knife. And this thing, just like this grip right here, is just so locked in and so comfortable. If you're doing push cuts, if you're, slicing through things, the pinch grip works really good too, as long as you're careful of that button. You don't want to push it and depress it. But man, the ergos, that was kind of the first thing that kind of, blew me away, was how comfortable this knife is in hand. And as much as I love having pot clips on knives, it is nice, not having one as far as ergos go, because it makes it, and it's not even like pot clips hinder the ergonomic experience that much for me personally, but just not having it on there just really makes it melt into your hands that much more. And again, the way the handle is shaped, the way the blade is, sort of a little bit below the handle, if that makes any sense, kind of what I'm trying to, portray to you guys, just makes for a very, very good ergonomic experience. Very, very comfortable. 5 out of 5 for the ergos. Next up is carry. Now, I just said pot clips are nice, not having them on there for ergability. Is that a word? But as far as carry goes, not having it on there doesn't really, do too much for you. So when I did carry this knife, it was primarily in gym shorts and sweatpants, because it was, some of the nicer days here in northwestern PA that we've had for a little while. So I was definitely just throwing it in there, going on walks, going out and about, doing some errands. I think I tried to drop it in my pocket of my jeans once in a while, but I just didn't fully trust it because I didn't want the button to kind of depress and then the knife to like pop open and me to go in and grab it and slice my hand up. Now you could of course get a slip for this knife, you know, and carry it that way. I wish maybe in the future they could have some sort of design option that could allow a clip to be mounted to maybe these two screws. It could be like a wide mounted clip and then get really skinny real fast, maybe something like that. You could take this off and put a clip on there. You know, but as far as carryability goes, it really, you know, it's lightweight. It's like 3.2 ounces, like I said earlier in the video. So it is nice that way, but I couldn't carry it traditionally like I carry folding knives that aren't slip joints, you know, because most other folding knives I have pot clips. So I gotta be, you know, I don't know how to really score this because it's not, I'm not trying to take away from the knife, and I'm gonna be, you know, I could just give it a 0 because it doesn't have any carryability, clippability, whatever you want to call it at all to me. But again, I did throw it in my shorts. So I do think I'll give it a 3.5 just because of the fact it is, you know, relatively small. It disappears in your pocket pretty well when you just throw it in a pair of gym shorts. And I don't want to take too much away from the knife because I do think it's really good. And that leads me to my final category of price point and value / what I recommend this knife. So the Ketuo Ventr is coming in on the website for $55, which I think is a very, very good price. When I first looked this up, I was expecting it to be closer to $100, you know, because Ketuo has some higher end stuff, you know, up into the 200s, you know, titanium M390, you know, some premium products. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, it's probably going to be like at least $75 to $100. But when I got on the website, I think $55 for this is very, very fair price. I mean, you're getting 14C28N, nice black G10 scales, a button lock, and a liner lock, which provides great action, a great detent, fantastic ergos. You know, the blade shape is unique and different. It doesn't have a clip, you know, so maybe in the future, if they may come out with a model with a clip, I might buy one of these because I really like the knife. I think it's, again, well worth the money. It's very well made. Fit and finish is nice. Very fun to fidget with, especially with that button lock and liner lock combo. It's really nice to like do the button lock for a couple times in a row and then switch over to the liner lock. It just kind of keeps it fresh and like, I don't know. It just is definitely a nice feeling. As I got a text message, you know, it's just, it's refreshing. It's fun. Again, it's kind of quirky, and honestly, I was very impressed with it. So I think of value, you know, price point of value, I think that's an easy 5, you know, $50 for this. I think it's very, very well done. And again, if they ever come out with this specific model, maybe with a pot clip in the future or design type of sheath for it, I'll consider buying it because I really did enjoy my time with the Ventr, and it really surprised me. But let me get this added up for you guys real quick. Alrighty. Alrighty guys, so the Ketuo Ventr is coming in with a score of 32, which lands it in the great category in my review process / system. And I think that's a very fair score. Again, this knife really did surprise me. And other than it not having a pot clip, you know, if this had a pot clip, I think this would score much, much higher. And it honestly would be, I think it even is in running for budget knife of the year for me right now, just because of how, you know, fun to fidget with it is. It's a great ergonomic experience, very usable, but again, kind of quirky blade shape. Just all around really, really good. Just missing that pot clip, and that's really what kind of killed it. You know, it didn't kill it because it still scored really good, but that's kind of what knocked down a peg or two in, you know, my final ratings is not having a pot clip. So Ketuo, if you watch this video, come out with a version, you know, lose this thing or include a clip so you could take this off. So I think a clip would be really, really nice, or make a slip for it. I would consider even throwing it in a pocket like that. But yeah, the Ketuo Ventr is a really cool knife. If you guys like, you know, budget knives and you think this looks cool, I can recommend it to anybody. I think it's a really good price point and a really good knife all around. So that was my final review of the Ketuo Ventr. Huge shout out to Kev for allowing us to check out really cool stuff all the time. I say it in almost every video, but I would not be allowed or not have the content for you guys if it wasn't for Kevin. So I'm always appreciative and grateful for him. But yeah, drop a comment down below. Did any of you guys pick one of these up? Maybe you went to Blade Show, Texas, and you picked one of these up, or you saw them kind of floating around Instagram like I did, and you decided to pull the trigger for yourself. But let me know. I would love to hear you guys have to say. I'm going to wrap this up now, so thank you guys again so much for watching. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you guys. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your morning, evening, day, night, whenever you're watching this, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.